Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Deploy the troops, deploy the troops. This one from Wall Street Silver here on Twitter. 5,000 troops to protect the World Economic Forum in Davos this year. Are they expecting trouble? Well, yesterday, or no, it was a couple days ago, I talked a little bit about the plane delays, the flight cancellations in the United States, and then subsequently the very next day in Canada. Because of a malfunction, the system apparently malfunctioned, and well, there was apparently a few cancellations from flights from Canada and the United States specifically. It seemed a little coordinated. It seemed a little strange. Well, this is also coming out. This was actually from a few days ago now. We know Davos, the World Economic Forum annual meeting, is happening next week, and Switzerland is to deploy 5,000. I think that's probably a record number too. 5,000 army troops to protect the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos. They are not messing around. Local authorities indicated the deployed troops were authorized to use coercive police measures to fulfill their security mission in Davos. Of course, why wouldn't they give them police measures? The number of participants to the forum has not yet been announced, nor how many heads of state or government will attend, but it is estimated around 2,500 presidents, companies, and civil society will be present. The WEF has become famous for attracting billionaire elites and representatives of large business corporations. Well, we really know what these scoundrels are all about, and I'm not surprised that they are beefing up security, considering, they are ultimately responsible for destroying humanity as we know it, or in the process of doing so through many different means. And guys, one of these things is going to be a great financial reset. Crypto has been the bane of their existence in that they don't want us to become rich off speculative trading. So, there are many measures now being put into place. Yesterday, I just did a video, and I talked a little bit about Nexo under the gun, and Gemini also now being scrutinized by the SEC. And if you guys didn't catch yesterday's video, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. Well, here's some more news. The Bank for International Settlements, they've just outlined a policy approach to ban, contain, and regulate cryptocurrency. This coming from XRP Crypto Wolf here on Twitter. So the BIS, Bank for International Settlements, they've suggested that authorities can take 3 different approaches when it comes to crypto following a particular turbulent year: regulate, contain, or call for a complete ban of the sector. And that's exactly what they are calling for. So they are taking a no nonsense approach here. And so this is the BIS. They are not country specific. They are essentially the central bank for central banks. And so, these are the guidelines that they're proposing. The global group of central bankers also posed an alternative to encourage sound innovation with central bank digital currencies, according to the report about addressing risks in crypto published on Thursday. The BIS outlined the advantages and drawbacks of each one of these 3 approaches and noted that they could be mixed and matched to apply different risks they perceive. And of course, they're going to highlight the ongoing saga surrounding the collapse of FTX and the crash of stablecoin Terra Luna. These were the main events they cited, probably also the main events that they were the masterminds behind. Without gateways like centralized exchanges, cryptos would have to rely on users taking self-custody of their funds in digital wallets using private keys, the report said. Given the risks involved, mainstream adoption would be inconceivable. So just as I said in yesterday's video, they're talking about the gateways. This is, I think, going to be the most difficult thing, I think, for us guys to navigate in 2023. The way we're going to trade our cryptos. It's not going to be so much, crypto's mooning, when should I sell? That part's the easy part. I never thought I'd say that. That part's the easy part. It's going to be the on-ramps, the off-ramps, and the country that you live in is going to be very dependent on what those on-ramps and off-ramps will be. Every country is different, obviously. Different crypto exchanges are going to regulate crypto differently. So just make sure you have a good, solid option for an on-ramp and off-ramp. And as I was discussing in yesterday's video, you might want a secondary option or maybe a couple of options. I personally use Binance and BITRUE. I do have an affiliate link for BITRUE in the description of the video. You can use it if you want. You don't have to use it. You might not even want to use those exchanges, but have something else available to you where you can trade the altcoins that you currently hold, and maybe sign up for more options. Do your research. Make sure you look into other cryptocurrency exchanges that are going to provide you the security, that are a little more reliable. But I mean, even as I was saying yesterday, Nexo is down, Gemini is down. They're all being targeted now. So just be very mindful. Another good reason also not to keep your cryptocurrency on an exchange specifically and in cold storage, like a Ledger Nano or something similar. And again, I do have an affiliate link for that too in the description of the video. So banning crypto, they're saying, would be like an extreme option and limit innovation. So luckily, they're not looking to ban it altogether. The BIS acknowledges that banning borderless decentralized activities is difficult. Putting a ban on centralized intermediaries would be more effective, but could push such activities to another jurisdiction. So the good news is that, you and I, we all hold XRP. Chances are if you're watching this channel, you do hold XRP because that's the cryptocurrency I mostly talk about. It's my largest holding, and it is becoming, or rather it will become, probably one of the most influential, if not most utilized cryptocurrencies on the planet at a point in time. So I have a feeling we're in a good spot with regards to at least our XRP. But for all those other cryptocurrencies that I know some of you guys are probably trading, maybe some of the more obscure ones like VeChain, not all exchanges are holding all these types of cryptocurrencies. So again, be mindful, have another option available to you because this, guys, is no joke. This is what's coming down the pipe in 2023. Going to keep moving though. Another, I guess, a bit of a public service announcement. Metamask put this out. A new scam called address poisoning is on the rise. And here's how it works. After you send a normal transaction, the scammer sends 0 token transaction, poisoning the transaction history. They use an address with the same first and last few characters as the real transaction. So that's the key, in the hopes that you will not check the full address and instead copy theirs into future transactions. You can protect yourself by double checking the full address or by using address book feature if you may need help. So for MetaMask specifically, you can go and follow this process here if you guys are using MetaMask. So just another observation here with regards to scammers, hackers, guys, just be careful. Again, keep your cryptocurrency safe. And, if there's an offer that sounds too good to be true, it probably is. 801 XRP here posting this. Now, I took a look at this and I remember this from a few months ago. Here's a notice of exempt offering of securities by Ripple Labs. So what is this? Okay, it looks as though it was something registered with the SEC, a Form D, notice of exempt offerings of securities. And so it was for other technology here, as you guys can see, and I'll link this in the description. Name, issuer, Ripple Labs. The related people involved, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, and David Schwartz. And what were they doing? The type of securities offered was equity. Does the issuer intend this offering to last more than 1 year? No. So this was a Form D, and I believe that this was just filed, if I'm not mistaken, at a time when Ripple was in fact just providing equity through Ripple. So this has nothing to do with XRP. But maybe providing Ripple equity to a potential investor. So what is a Form D? So just to give you guys a bit of a background here, SEC Form D is the form used by companies to notify the SEC they have made an offering of securities, but they haven't registered these securities with the SEC. So again, this is likely Ripple stock. This exemption from offering securities without registering them is covered in SEC Regulation D or Section D, Form D, of the Securities Act of 1933. So they can in fact do this, but they do have to fill out this form to let the SEC know. So this is nothing. This is nothing to do with the lawsuit, nothing to do with XRP specifically, and likely everything to do just with Ripple equity in the company to a potential investor. So in case anybody was wondering about that, I wanted to just clear that up. Wanted to keep moving. Wrath of Kahneman here, bringing up this papers report. Interesting. So this was a papers report just from last year, and insights into payments and beyond. And it's quite a lengthy report, guys. I will link it in the description if you are interested. Some interesting facts and figures in here. One of the things, though, the who's who in payments has a funny blurb about Ripple. They mention Ripple down here. Under this particular section, okay, increased focus on profitable niches in B2B payments, examples of B2B cross-border payments and blockchain. B2B payments include many specific niches ranging from B2B travel, marketplaces, cross-borders with high revenue and growth potential that are targeted by new entrants. New entrants in B2B cross-border payments address many pain points ranging from poor customer experience, payment delays, costs, and lack of security and efficiency. In this case, Visa B2B Connect was designed to create a multilateral network delivering B2B cross-border payments that are predictable, secure, and cost-effective for financial institutions and corporate clients. So Currency Cloud is another provider focusing on B2B cross-border payments that leverages the innovative capabilities of blockchain by partnering with Ripple. Ripple provides a blockchain-based fast payment settlement system allowing for processing faster payment transactions compared with other networks such as SWIFT. So outlining the fact here, especially that Ripple, their cross-border payment technology, their DLT technology essentially, is better than the current SWIFT technology that they're that we're already using that's out there. And I would assume that they mean SWIFT API better than that as well. B2B payments are being increasingly targeted by a myriad of actors, both traditional financial institutions and fintechs, who are developing innovative services through smart use of technology. EDC expects this trend to continue as there is a high number of opportunities in B2B payments. So they mentioned Visa B2B, Currency Cloud, and Ripple. And Visa, of course, did purchase Currency Cloud and also did purchase Earthport, which is Ripple enabled. So an interesting few connections there. The real takeaway, Wrath Economist says, besides the incestuous nature of payments, is probably that there are a number of companies trying to capitalize in the same field SWIFT has dominated for so many years. So somebody sees opportunity here. Yeah, I don't doubt it for one bit. SWIFT no longer going to be the dominant player. They're going to share the pie. They're going to have to share the pie because better technology is coming down the pipe. So just wanted to thank the Wrath Economist for posting that. He also posted another one here. So not directly related, but it is interesting who is writing this particular op-ed. The new Brazilian regulation on digital assets and its possible impacts, okay? This is written by Luiz Hendrick Didier Jr., the CEO of BEX, which is a Ripple partner. And he's talking about regulation, crypto regulation, digital asset regulation in Brazil specifically, discussing how that is currently changing. Now, you got to keep in mind who's writing this. The CEO of a company that is partnered with Ripple. He talks about, to date, there is no specific law to regulate the activities of the digital asset market, and the crypto market grew without any of the safeguards that other financial sectors are known for. Players in the segment should follow the guidelines that establish clear rules about the responsibilities of companies and the role of the regulators. These rules cover topics such as free initiative and competition, good governance practices, and risk-based approaches, information security and personal data protection, consumer user protection, and defense of people's savings, as well as the robustness and efficiency of operations. The regulation dedicates a chapter to anti-money laundering as well. So, kind of along the lines of, all the same talking points that we've heard. Anybody associated with Ripple or payments or, legacy industry players, same talking points that they've been talking about for years now. The new law mainly affects companies that operate in the crypto assets segment, such as exchanges, by creating the figure of virtual asset service providers, and probably companies like Bex's, whose CEO is currently writing this op-ed. Under the new law, crypto brokerages should request a license to operate in Brazil, as financial institutions do. Companies must also obtain a legal entity registration number in Brazil and report suspicious transactions to authorities, so on and so forth. So, again, just to the point that the world is changing and, country by country, all these countries are going to have their own specific regulatory clarity. And the good news, though, is that it's all going to be working in conjunction to allow a new financial system to thrive. And, the tokens that have clarity, the tokens like XRP that solve problems, those are going to be the valuable tokens moving forward. So another great find here from the Wrath of Kahneman. So do prices actually mean anything? From Christian Catalini. Ultimately, when we see the market price of a cryptocurrency on an exchange, we know that's what it's worth. That's what people are trading it at. And when the prices fall dramatically, well, obviously, said cryptocurrencies aren't worth as much. But where is this intrinsic value coming from? Is there any intrinsic value in cryptos at this point in time? Is this going to change? And can we say this across the board? We know there are going to be many cryptocurrencies that will have potential value in the future, but maybe today they just don't have that value. So let's take a look at this because, I'm also going to touch on the buyback, the XRP buyback that is allegedly being proposed by some members of the XRP community. So Christian here, he just goes on by saying, from inception, crypto participants have obsessed about the price, market capitalization, and trading volume of competing coins. These metrics have distorted the incentives of well-meaning crypto entrepreneurs and made it easier for bad actors to blend in, attract capital, and generate hype around their scams. So, this is part of what we're trying to combat here. We want to be part of a system that works based on its merit and based on crypto utility. Eventually, for those cryptocurrencies to rally in price based on utility, well, that's what we ultimately want. In the meantime, though, cryptocurrency is going to rally. Cryptocurrency is going to moon based on spec, but could that change soon For crypto to truly go mainstream, the industry needs to stop blindly trusting these metrics of convenience and pay more attention to dimensions that closely track progress against actual customer and business needs. So we did write an entire article on this. Do crypto prices mean anything? Ultimately, though, just to summarize, and I will link this in the description for you guys, we're in an interesting time right now when it comes to the transformation of the crypto industry. To be honest with you, I thought that all this was going to happen a lot sooner. And I think we've seen it expedited because of the beer flu. So that's part of it. Obviously, there's the great reset component of this as well. Transformation of the entire financial industry. Luckily for us, they're going to be using cryptocurrency. I mean, it's kind of the only logical way to go about this. But I mean, in the past, we've been seeing, cryptos rally basically based on nothing. So, I mean, for example, we've got Bitcoin here right now. And, let me just throw this on the... No, actually, I want to keep it on the daily, but I want to zoom right out just to get the full picture of Bitcoin. We've seen peaks and valleys of Bitcoin. But ultimately, all this is just spec. None of this really means anything. It's just psychology on the chart. It's what people felt Bitcoin was worth in 2013. Well, they thought it was worth $1,115. At the top of the market in April 2013, they thought it was worth $187. So, December 2013 to April 2013, it did a 10x. Then it came all the way back down, okay? And so, these wide fluctuations in price, this is, essentially what spec traders like, because if it's predictable, this is how you can make money. But is Bitcoin really worth 1,000 or 100 or 10,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 or 5,000? There is no real metric behind Bitcoin. And so, this is what Christian here is critical of. And because we've seen things like the FTX collapse and the Terra Luna, I think this is really going to open regulators' eyes and get government to regulate, as I was talking about earlier, get them to regulate more seriously in 2023. After each high-profile crypto meltdown, he says there have been renewed calls for greater oversight in the space. The idea is that if we regulated crypto players like traditional financial institutions, they would start behaving like ones. But a regulatory framework that is purpose-built for the technology would only tackle part of the problem. It would definitively improve customer protection and market integrity. It would not, however, change the underlying incentives in the space and stop some of the reckless and fraudulent behavior it has attracted to date. For the crypto industry to have a positive impact on society, we need to first overhaul how it measures progress and succeeds. So ultimately, the metrics that we've been going by today are, quite frankly, not very useful. The price, the market cap, the circulating supply, all that can just be created and it can be changed. Whoever holds the keys to the crypto without any rules, that can be changed. And that's why we're seeing so many cryptocurrencies, over 22,000 cryptocurrencies, most of them being garbage. This is why we got to focus on the ones that will truly have a value down the road. And I mean, it's fun. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's fun to trade in a spec market, even if you want to grab a few crap coins here or there, but no, just that what you are holding are crap coins. And if they go to zero, that's on you. So, I mean, people have got to take responsibility here. And I don't think a lot of people did in the last crypto crash, especially during the FTX thing, the Terra Luna thing. A lot of people lost their shirts. And so, this is what's giving governments an excuse to regulate the hell out of this thing in a way that, I don't know, because it's not done yet. We haven't actually seen the full framework. The Ripple SEC case is definitely going to play a big part of this. But as of now, we still just don't really have an answer. Leaving bad crypto metrics behind. So this is ultimately where this author sees this going, or where it could go, how it could have a positive effect on the industry as a whole. Ironically, in a setting where everything can be easily measured, there is a dire need for better metrics. After all, measurement is a way of assigning value. It reflects the guiding philosophy behind organizations, markets, and systems. To stop being led astray, crypto entrepreneurs and investors need to rethink how to measure progress. So consider the profound ways that metrics affect innovation. And then he goes into a bunch of ways in which this occurs. Companies have key metrics, so on and so forth. Of course, we know metrics reflect value, but we can't see that value unless our cryptocurrency, namely XRP, is implemented. We've talked about, many different ways of how it can be implemented in the future. We've talked about the value that it could possess. We talked about, the fact that it could go to 2 digits easily, 3 digits, maybe even 4 digits, which has gotten us really excited about this buyback idea as well. Jenna at XRP Jenna here on Twitter posted this, okay? After the great debate between the Real Reaper, Patrick L. Riley, and Hammertoe Matt Hamilton, here's how it went down. So again, with regards to the buyback, Matt Hamilton insists that it is not going to happen. Here's what he's stating, okay? Why authorities can't confiscate Ripple's XRP token. Matt Hamilton, who was once the director of developer relations at Ripple, has provided an explanation as to why such is not even remotely viable. He claimed that such a plan of action would not be feasible for the primary reason that the value of virtual currencies is attributed to the users of such assets. So again, just kind of going back to this, idea of metrics and understanding the metrics of certain cryptocurrencies. And, today, really, XRP doesn't have the value that it will have in the future. I mean, that's just fundamentally true. We have a perceived value of XRP because we realize the potential that it can leverage. But I mean, quite frankly, let's say XRP was created in 1964. Let's say there was the technology to create it, but none of the other supporting technology was available. Well, what value would it really have? And would we be holding it for 40, 50, 60 years before that value was actually realized? I mean, these are all very interesting questions. We're definitely not 40 years away. We're probably about a handful of years away before full adoption is occurring. And so, this is what's getting people really excited about this whole buyback scenario. We're on the precipice of something very, very exciting. And, since the United States has been lagging, this, I think, in part is why people are getting excited about this idea of selling or, relinquishing their XRP to the Fed for these crazy prices. So this hypothesis is an offshoot of the original conspiracy theory, which has given rise to the conjecture the seizure of XRP would be unfeasible for at least 3 different reasons, according to Matt Hamilton. And so I'm just going to go over Matt Hamilton's tweet thread here. There is a small but very vocal minority of the XRP community that is promoting a crazy idea of the US government buying back or confiscating XRP from US citizens, yet for some strange reason compensating them hundreds of thousands of dollars above the market value price. So we have XRP. It's at the market value that people are willing to pay for it at this moment in time, whether that's 37, 38 cents, whatever that happens to be as of the time that you're watching this. That's the market value. So why would government do this? There are many flaws with this thinking, both economical and technical. But one specific argument made is the US government confiscated gold in the 1930s. They could do the same with XRP. Again, there are many reasons why this thinking is illogical, but this evening I came up with an analogy to help people understand why I'm so dismissive of this line of reasoning. But Matt, you don't know the future. It could happen. Analogy: imagine there was a disease in the 1930s that killed off all the horses. And today a bunch of people try to reason that the same sort of disease could kill off all the cars today. That is nonsense, right? Horses, blood, skin, bones. Cars, metal, rubber, electrics. But Matt, you're not a vet. You're not a mechanic. No, I'm not. But they are totally different. Just because a disease could kill one makes no sense. It could kill something totally different. Now, I guess the debate here is how different is XRP from gold? In that, physically they're different, sure. But in that, what they represent to a financial system, I think that they are more similar than Matt Hamilton is giving them credit for. One is biological, one is mechanical, of course. They have different properties. A horse disease is not going to kill a car, obviously. Similarly, gold and digital assets like XRP are totally different. So here's his explanation. Not only in their characteristics, but in the time these events happened, and the environment they existed in at the time. This is not to say the US government couldn't regulate XRP out of usage for US citizens, but not because they did it with gold. Hence, they could do it again. Those are very different scenarios. Gold has to be dug out of the ground. I can't create new gold in my living room. In the 1930s, if I wanted to sell gold, I had to physically take it somewhere to sell it. That limits my market. Digital assets I can move and sell anywhere in the world in seconds. So sure, there is that difference. Of course, this is just the United States we're talking about. So people can always move their XRP offshore and, sell it in a different jurisdiction. And maybe that would make it different. So I can see his point there. Digital assets like XRP and Bitcoin have no intrinsic value and are numbers and code on computers. Their value is that which we ascribe to them, mostly due to scarcity and utility. Their value is because a decentralized group of people agree on a set of rules to transact in them. This brings me to 3 specific points. Number 1, XRP lives on a decentralized blockchain. It cannot be seized except via duress of the key holders. Number two, if the US government wants all the XRP for its own use, it could much more easily create its own cryptocurrency. We know why that could be a problem. I mean, it takes time to create these. I mean, maybe not for Matt because he's a developer, but I don't think the government is in the business of creating technology, and they shouldn't be, in my opinion. If the government wants all the XRP to prevent others from using it, that very act kills any value or utility in it. So it becomes a chicken and an egg scenario and would be self-cannibalizing, as per Matt Hamilton. The rest of the participants just decide to ignore them or fork or create XRP 2.0. So hopefully you can see there is no logical reason why a government would both seize XRP from its citizens and pay them way above market price for doing so. Some people down here are responding with some interesting questions like Ashley Matt. I think there is a disconnect between what they are saying and what you are debating. They are saying that they believe XRP is extremely valuable at any price point, and that at some point the government may want to take it for themselves. Not a crazy theory in my opinion. And Matt's saying if that's all they were saying, then I'd not have such an issue with it, even if it is still unlikely. But when you look at the valuations they are talking about, it's complete nonsense. Jimbo here saying it's almost rather disheartening that it should be necessary to debunk this kind of thing. So he's saying that the XRP buyback theorists are crazy. Matt responding, yeah, I have no problem with the group trying to ensure that retail holders are protected, but their price evaluation is what kills this idea for me. This coming from Zap here on Twitter. No one will negotiate with people when their price estimation is insane. It kills the validity of this proposal. Matt Hamilton responding, indeed, the price valuation makes the whole thing a joke. Also, just the sheer mechanics of it are unworkable. So, are the mechanics unworkable? I mean, there's only so much XRP to go around, but there are other cryptocurrencies that could replace XRP. I mean, if that were to happen, I'm not saying that will. I mean, XLM's another project that the government could look into if, they did in fact want to buy back all this XRP but didn't want to pay an exorbitant amount. So all things to consider. We do know, however, that this is causing a stir, obviously because XRP is so important to the global system. Remember, guys, it is supposed to move all the money at some point in time. So what do you think of the buyback? Do you think the valuations are crazy? Is XRP so different from gold that it wouldn't be confiscated by the government the same way gold was in the 30s? Tell me down in the comments what you guys think, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.